Hey everyone, Mark Johnston here. I am the head coach with High Thrive Coaching. So I just wanted to do a little bit of a live stream. I know some of you have considered needing some more help from us. Perhaps our podcasts aren't quite enough information and you just really need some personal feedback or whatnot. So today I actually just kind of wanted to go over what the experience, like I said, I wanted to go over what the experience is like being in, part of our services. So to help with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up some notes from a client that I worked with for some time. We're going to pull this up right here. So, of course, in this, I have changed all the names and pertinent information, but most everything else has been left untouched. So the reason why I wanted to bring this up is I wanted you to see like just the kind of circumstances that I deal with and where we have success. You can see here, where, like I said, I changed the names. We have John and Samantha. When John came to me, this was way back almost a year ago now. When he came to me, he came expressing that his wife, Samantha, had already filed. They already filed for divorce. Things were bad enough that she had moved out, and just it was really rough. When I was asking him, okay, well, what was going on? It was a very common sort of situation, this idea that I love you, but I'm not in love with you. And she started bringing out all these other issues. As we keep going along here, we can see here, even John himself was asking, whether he should reconcile. He was talking about how he felt terrible. He's beating himself up. He felt like, some of his own complaints was saying, well, my wife, Samantha, doesn't even take responsibility for what's going on. And we started seeing that, like, even as Samantha started pulling away, she started seeing this as a good option. She found her voice and she felt like this was healthy for her. And so we can see this was really, really rough. A lot of problems were going on, like where Samantha was really looking at things a bit odd. She had a history, a really hard history, and she had a lot of unhealthy behavior. Spending was kept secret, and a lot of things were going on that hurt John, and he was, a lot of what we were talking about a good amount of time was like, do I actually even want this? These were some of the things he was saying. We're not compatible. Life's too short to be unhappy. My feelings have changed. I mean, this is some of the things that he was saying, some of the things that she was saying. But as we keep going along, we started identifying, and it didn't take this long to identify all the problems, but we would see big root issues coming up, like sweeping problems under the rug, not actually addressing problems. We kept going along, and we, even as far as July, we were still hearing really harsh comments that you're not listening to me, like he doesn't listen, it's all about his perspective. But as we kept going, what started happening, and I talk about this a lot in working with clients one-on-one, is at some point, with a lot of consistency, with the right messaging, with the right actions, the narrative starts to shift. I remember John talking to me about receiving an email from Samantha, where she started seeing a lot of the changes that had happened. She didn't want to accept it, the changes toward herself, but she started recognizing, okay, John has really changed who he is as a father, and she really expressed some pride in that. And he started feeling confident in himself. He was in a good place. He was saying, I'm doing great with the kids. He's learned a lot. He's saying this was an opportunity to do something different. And, a lot of what's going on, it started to shift the tide. Even Samantha agreed to meet with me at some point. And it really started to open things up. Now, it didn't solve anything. We can see there's a lot more updates, little small things here, and everything seemed inevitable. But what I'm going to point out is, John kept keeping me updated. He kept being consistent. And what we have here is, sometime later, we have that the divorce was stopped and Samantha moved back in and they both put their rings back on. And Samantha started to admit some of her own responsibility in this, that she was not communicating very well. And she had seen a lot of the consistency with John, realizing that he had changed. And so she really started putting forth some effort. What I'm getting at here is, part of this took some time. It took time and a lot of feedback, a lot of adjustments, because they were in a dire situation. If we go all the way back, they had filed for divorce. It took, close to a year to really resolve this. But, the problems had started even much before that. Here's the point. Like, what I do when I'm working with clients, a lot of the times the situation seems very dire. It seems like there's nothing that could work. And it seems like there's no hope whatsoever. John certainly felt that way. Samantha felt that way. Like there's nothing that could be done. And my philosophy is that there's always some steps to take you a little bit further. Now, one of the things that really helped John in this case, I'm going to bring something else up. He had a lot of feedback from our team. You can see here that there were 22 pages worth of notes here. In addition, John met with me individually. He also, was part of our group coaching program. You can see here, on that page, we have calls every day of the week. I spend hours every week in these group calls answering questions. This is a great opportunity to check in, to see to give some updates and to get some next steps. Usually in these calls, I'll usually spend upwards of about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And, I'll spend about 20 or so minutes with anyone that has a question. Now, this isn't just me. I'm here for about 3, sometimes 4 of the meetings out of the week. But, I do have some of my other team members in some of these calls, but you can see this. We have 6 group calls out of the week. This makes it so that, it doesn't matter what your schedule is like. We have calls at different calls, different times of the different times. And, a lot of people get a lot of benefit even out of just coming to the group calls, or even just listening into other people's problems and seeing how other people are solving them. In addition to that, like I said, you saw the extensive notes that we give. We have the group calls here. We even, I'm not going to bring it up because I can't censor the names, but, we have people dedicated to email support, making sure that no matter what time it is, if you're having a big problem, there's probably a way to get some help pretty soon. So I'm bringing this up because, I was going through our group here, the Thriving Marriages, their free group. And, I was seeing lots of questions as I was scrolling through the pages. How do I handle this? How do I handle that? How do I solve, does anyone have problems with their husbands that are addicted to phones, even when they eat? There is a lot of problems out there, and it's hard. I can't go into this and help all of you right now. I mean, if we're looking at this, there's over 30,000 members in this group at this point, and I would like to help as many as I can. So if you're considering it, if you're even thinking that a little bit of extra help might help, we are actually really shifted some of our programs around so that we are a lot more flexible now. So if you're considering, just let us know in the comments or message me. I'm going to be honest, sometimes I don't answer the messages myself. I do have an assistant answering some of those things, but it's at least a good way to get in contact and see what kind of options are available. If you want to talk to someone from our team directly, you can go to our website, www.highthrivecoaching.com/apply. But what I'm saying here is we're here to help, and it does work. We do have successes all the time. And largely it's because we offer a ton of support, because I recognize that you guys need it. This is a really hard time if you're going through these extreme marriage crises right here. So let us know in the comment section below if you're looking for some extra help, and we'll see what we can do to get you started. That's all I wanted to share for today. But if you're looking for us to do some live streams on other topics, get out there, post some stuff in the discussions. We are starting to, I'm getting back into the Facebook group, and my aim here is to do more live streams like this, answering some questions that are out there. So please put out some posts, comment, discuss, and we'll try to help you out as best as we can. I hope you all have a good weekend, and I'll be back for the podcast on Tuesday. See you, everyone.